Good afternoon, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, family. Thank you guys for coming on this beautiful Saturday afternoon, man. Back to the world, my brother and my sister's keeper, but all things Sonetquity. If you have any comments, questions, or anything that you care to share, man, hit me in the boxes down below. Let's exchange, let's converse a bit, okay? And the music that you hear in the background, we don't own the rights to. We're just borrowing it, man, just for your pleasure. All right. I hadn't been on in a couple of days, man. We've been really busy. Got some major things in works. But to all of my book lovers, to all of my readers, to all of my book club members, to all the network marketers out here, man, I send my love and my embrace and my hugs to you, okay? Because you are the ones that's going to make the difference in the literary industry. We have so many writers today. We have so many writers. And I visited many of the different book clubs, authors and publishing clubs. I've joined and I've visited and I've sat in. And I just want to tell you, man, this week, I wanted to come to you earlier in the week. Thanks for you guys checking in with us, man. We love hearing from you. And I don't know what this is here. What have I done? Okay, here we go. Yeah, thank you guys for coming on board, man. I wanted to share this with you guys earlier in the week, but like I said, I had a very busy week. There was a few comments that I had made, well, a few responses to some comments that were made and some posts. And man, I got a lot of flack from it. It was about equal though. But one thing that we have to realize is this. We all are created, it sounds like a conundrum. We all are made equal, but different at the same time. So the fact that we're made equal means that we're capable. No, we were all made of all the same substance, all the same being and what have you. So in that respect, we are all the same, all right? But now, we have an opportunity to make choices, okay? We have an opportunity to feel a certain way, by the weather and what have you. We have that opportunity to feel that way. So, my phone's ringing right now. Give me just a second, ladies and gentlemen. I'm in the middle of a podcast, so let me call you right back. Okay? All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, as I said, in that respect, we're made equal. But the main thing that makes us equal somewhat is the same thing that makes us different. So we think different, we feel differently about certain things. Our views, our choices. So, our mind changes as the weather does. Okay? So, my point being, I'm dragging that out, but there were some authors out there and some writers. And we'd like to think that you're an author when your work has been published. But prior to that, I'd like to think that you are a writer. Okay? Now, we can split hairs on that all day long, but the facts still remain that that's the process. See, some things we can feel different about, but then there are some things in industry, there are some things in nature that we just can't. No matter how far we differ on our personal thoughts, the process and the product remains the same. Okay? So now, with that said, there was many, many writers and authors that chimed in, and I posted on my page that why is it that so many authors today, new authors and new writers, would always give a mea culpa by saying that I didn't write this book to make money. That wasn't my goal. And that, that may be for someone else, but it's not for me. I had a story that I needed to get out, and it was more therapeutic than anything else, and you got that story out. Okay. In some sense like that, see, now I can believe a story like that if in fact the person wrote the book, they wrote the story rather, and it was all on line paper, whatever it was, or they typed it, or they placed it in the computer, and they never got it published. They never got it published. They never got an IBN number, and I could truly believe that that person did it for the love of them, because they needed to exorcise that story. They needed to get that story out. But no, you went a further step, and you got that book published. And now when we talk about money and the whole bit, see, that's the next phase of it. So now you want to promote your book to some degree. You want your book to, you're not just going to write a book. It's going to show up in the library, and then millions and millions of people are going to buy it. There's a unicorn like that strikes maybe every 10 years. You have a book that just goes berserk. It just goes nuts, just like that. But not many. But other than that, you're going to have to put in some promo. But see, first you have to change your attitude about it. And then someone says, well, writing is an art. And that's where that saying comes from, starving artist. Now, that's not where that came from. But if your words are your wine, and words are powerful, because as you said, your words were therapeutic. It'll make you feel better. So lots of times you speak things into existence. And probably the first artists that we know of, they only starved because they didn't push or promote their work. You see? So, I never buy into that dictum that, your goal, you strive to be a starving artist. The fact that you published the book, the fact that you got that number, it meant that you became professional. And that was the next process. I gave an example. And that example that I had given was, let's say you have a person that cooks well, that cook very well. And everyone that comes over to their resident talks about how great the food is, right? And this gives this individual pleasure, because they do it with passion from the bottom of their heart, right? So now everyone tells this person that you need to open a restaurant because you cook so well, right? So this person does that. So now they're not known as a cook anymore. They're a chef. They're a chef. So now, do you think they're going to feel the same way because they're still cooking with the same quality, the same zest, the same love? They're still cooking with that passion. So how do you think they're going to feel when no one buys their food? No one comes to their restaurant. It's the same food. Now practically the same people that used to tell them how good their food was aren't even coming. You see? So I was just dogged out because it was making it seem like I was just a capitalist, man, and all I thought about was money the whole bit. No. You wrote a book. It's a good book. Your book needs to get in as many hands as it can. And there's a process in which you reach out to get it in as many hands as you can. Okay? Uh, there's one book. I don't care to name the book group, but this one person, when I said that you shouldn't feel bad, you should want to have your book read by millions. And this person basically called me, I guess he thought I didn't know what it meant, a confidence man. I told him all I was wanting to do was share some motivation to give certain individuals confidence. See, a lot of people are only copping out, saying that they only wrote their books just for them or for therapy. But if you sat down and you wrote a book and you studied the industry and you went through and followed up and got your book published, you know what comes along with that industry and you know how it works. And I think that sometimes we just cop out and we're afraid and we lack confidence, you know? But if you wrote a good book and you wrote a good story, you shouldn't lack in confidence. As a matter of fact, you should just scream and let the world hear it. And that's what you did with your writing, because you're no longer, you know, your book is on the market. A lot of people are going to stumble upon it by accident. But you didn't write that book to be discovered by accident. The birds are singing over here. So, I think that a lot of us, when we consider ourselves more intelligent than others, some of us speak well, but we write horribly. And some of us write well and we speak horribly. So there's that offset, there's that balance. But if you understand the context of the conversation, you get it. And see, that's what has happened to this industry to a degree, because it's a good thing and it's a bad thing. You have a lot of good books out there. You have a lot of great books, a lot of great stories, but written poorly. And you have a lot of well-written stories, but they're poor. And I got attacked by some folk, man, that just thought I was just probably ignorant and they was trying to speak above my head. So maybe my punctuations weren't in the right place the whole bit. But keep in mind, we're on social media. People have started abbreviating and paraphrasing and saying things and typing things in a whole bit. And now when I'm basically trying to make sense of a conversation and a situation, you make fun of my writing. But see, that doesn't bother me. You didn't make fun of my spelling. And we're talking about preposition, adjectives, and commas, and the whole bit. So if that's what you want to be stuck on, do that. I think when you're doing that, you're covering up for a lot of other things that you're maybe somewhat deprived of, or limited. You know what I mean? And social media has opened up, so you can't have it both ways. Social media has given us a chance, literally, to be creative and get our message out and get our words out without it being polished and trimmed and all shiny for the public to like it. And that would be good if it was that way. I think a lot of social media podcasts are turning to that, because when my partner and I first started this, my reasons for starting my podcast was because it was like sitting in a basement with poor lighting. The mics aren't working that well, but people tuned in because they wanted to hear things from its natural. They wanted things to look and appear and seem natural. But now we're getting powdered up, we get makeup, we got lights, we have production, we have information and everything scrolling across the film. But we don't have that yet. But we're moving in that direction simply because that's the way the whole genre seems to be moving. But ladies and gentlemen, if any of you wrote your book, don't cop out and say you just didn't write it. I only wrote it for just me. If you write it for just you, it should always be, it should at least be kept in a manuscript form. if you just wrote it for you. But once you get an IBN number and it's in the Library of Congress, it's for the world to see. And you're doing yourself a disservice if you only put that book out without any promotions, the whole bit. I'm not a promoter. That's not what I am. And the guy asked me what was I selling. We sell books. We sell books. We are a bookstore. Go to our website at www.bookshop.org/shop/Sonetquity. Come on here and promote your book, ladies and gentlemen. Interview with a book. Come on our website. Go to our website and promote your book. That's what we're here for. But I wasn't here. We're going to promote our business. But I'm here to let you know that you should not do yourself a disservice by claiming that the money part wasn't important to you. And how the youngsters say today, it sounds like cap. So let's get up off of that, man, and let's not be so heavy and hard. And all those who are, I mean, some of us who's mastered the English language, and some of us that are well versed in writing and quotations and punctuations and periods and commas. Some of us are better than others. Okay? Or shall I say some of y'all are better than us. All right? But it doesn't make your story any less interesting. And I just think that people who feel that they're superior in certain areas, man, you're no different than a bully. You're no different than trying to make someone feel small about themselves. And I tell you, you know, when you shot at me, I'm not gonna even call out your name. But when you fired across the bow to me, you were really shooting at the wrong one. Really, you were. I mean, don't get me wrong. I still have some couth. There are certain things that still bother me to a degree. But it's nothing like dealing with you guys in the public the whole bit. Man, after what I've gone through and what the Most High has brought me through in 25 years, you can't embarrass me. You can't make me feel bad about myself. If I don't speak in a manner in which you like, if you don't like the tone of my voice, if you don't like my subject matter, if you don't like, I will never criticize. I will critique. But if you misconstrue or misinterpret my critique for criticism, then you're absolutely wrong. Let me correct you before you even get into that. All right? But you bullies on a lot of these writing clubs and authors clubs, and you guys are sitting back as though you're in a Harvard club drinking tea or coffee or bourbon, smoking a cigar. You guys are sadly delusional. You really are. And you should take it you should take it a bit easier on people. I didn't attack no one when I said you should promote your book. You shouldn't feel that it was written just for you. I mean, that sounds so staid. It sounds so unbelievable. And there's a few of you that may truly mean it, and especially if you're out there. Now, if you're out there and you're making 6 figures and beyond a year, and you have lots of time, you have plenty of time, and you fill your time with writing, poetry, different quotes or what have you, then I can believe you saying that you're just doing it to fill your time. You don't care if you sell everything or sell anything. I can truly believe that. Because financially you're straight. But a person that's working a waged job, and they're struggling, and they're having a difficult time, or they're just living above the poverty level, and you're barely keeping food on the table, but yet you are an exceptional writer, And you mean to tell me you didn't write your book to sell? That sounds ludicrous, right? So let's stop trying to please those on social media, and let's stop maybe withholding our passion so that others may not have a certain kind of feeling about us. You know, I'm on here every day, man, and I know some of you probably say some of the things I say don't make sense. I see many of you clock in, and I see you clock right back out. But then I know many come back and they watch it on replay. I wish we can get numbers like 1 million every time we click on go, every time we click on going live. But that's just not how it is. It's just not that way. But I think as long as you're true to you, true to yourself, and true to who you are and what you are, ultimately, I think you're going to win in the end. So stop saying you only wrote your book for you. You didn't write it for the money. Because the universe listens. And the universe usually gives you what you ask for. And as long as you keep saying that you're not concerned about book sales or anything at all, you're going to get just that. And for you that truly mean that, this message is not for you. Carry on. But anyway, you guys go out and have a wonderful day. I know you hear the good humor, man, in the background here. But go out and enjoy the rest of your Saturday. And keep writing. Peace.